Welcome to the Leadership Transition course, and in this module we will continue with the topic self-personality check, and we will be looking at temperaments. Now, what are temperaments? In psychology, temperament is an aspect of personality. This have to do with emotions and how they are being showed, and also reactions, the speed in which those reactions happen and the intensity with which they happen. Now, based on this, you can tell what type of temperament someone has, and also for yourself. And basically, there are four types of temperament. This is mainly used to show your prevailing mood or pattern, the mood pattern of someone. So as a leader or aspiring leader, and also to know where your team members fall, it's important to know or understand these four temperaments. Actually, it's a quick way to start knowing where someone falls into. Instead of doing the 16 personality or the 17 families of the facet 5, can be a very quick way because you can look at your mood and emotion, and you can already start guessing where they might fall into. And that can already give you a good clue as to how to approach people with a particular type of temperament, or also for yourself as a leader, how you should approach things, and depending on how you react to things, and depending on the situation. So the four types mainly are known as the choleric, the melancholy, the phlegmatic, and sanguine. So basically, if you look at a choleric, and if you map them based on emotional and non-emotional, or whether they have ability to change or uh, not change, or can even easily change. Well, what that simply means is that the difficulty in changing behavior, but also the difficulty in them changing their own ways of doing things, um, or even not just them changing things, but how they also approach change. And depending on how you view this, you can place them easily or understand people and also yourself. So if you look at choleric, these people they become quickly emotional, they are easily aroused, egocentric, they are more like exhibitionists, hot-headed, and um, they are very active. This is more like the dominant personality in the disc personality. And then you go to a temperament like sanguine, which they are very playful, and easygoing, sociable, hopeful, and they are contented. So they are more or less more towards the less emotional part. So which means they can easily control their emotions and put it in check. And then you go to flag, who are calm, steadfast, persistent, controlled, um, highly principled, and reasonable. But then it can be difficult to get them to change, to do something easily. And then the melancholists, who are also a little bit difficult to change behavior because they believe in ideals sometimes. They're very thoughtful, serious most times, can be very suspicious of things, unhappy, worried, and anxious, and can be emotional. So if you look at choleric and melancholy, they are more emotional compared to sanguine and the phlegs. And why the melancholy and phleg do not easily adapt to change compared to cholerics and sanguine. And you can look at all that aspect, and that helps you understand who you are. So I think if you read up this on different aspects of life, and you as a person look at all these characteristics and ask yourself, where do I really fall? Some people I combination. Again, we keep saying that each person has all of these personalities or temperament. Depends on which one you predominantly exhibit. So some people can predominantly be melancholists, but in some situation can be phlegm, or choleric, or some situation can be melancholy. And many leaders in the world share a lot of the melancholy and choleric characters. So you can also look at the four temperament in terms of humor and element. And what that looks at is, for example, sanguine has what they call a blood humor and an element called air. And if you look at air, air flows easily. You breathe in air, and it feels good, you know. And sanguine, in that case, are seen as socially useful. And then if you go to like choleric, where the the element is fire, and the humor is more yellow bile, which simply means they tend to be more ruling, and they don't really care much how they get things done. They just push and push and push the fire element, and they don't care in that sense. And you go to the flag, who has an element of water, calm, they're getting there, they take their time to get things done. Like a water, when it's calm, it doesn't look dangerous, but when it's really goes wrong with water, it can be dangerous. And of course, they take their time to do things. They don't easily change, and that's why they're also in that nature of flag. And melancholy, who are people that are more avoiding in many ways. That's why they're called black bile. And they are more seen with an element of the earth. So if you look at it, sanguine as air, choleric as fire, phleg as water, and melancholy as earth. And if you understand these four terminologies, air, fire, water, and earth, you can relate more to these types in that sense. And of course, they do have their strengths and weaknesses. Choleric, ambitious, they are planners, they are efficient, they are leaders, but they can be too busy and intolerant and demanding. Sanguine are sociable on the other part, outgoing, optimistic, but can be selfish and often late to things and exaggerate things a lot. Melancholics are thoughtful, considerate, organized, detailed, and self-reliant, but sometimes can be moody, obsessed with their ideals, or be perfectionists and pessimists. While phlegmatic people are calm, reliable, they are diplomatic and accepting, and then they can be shy, passive, very indecisive a lot of times, and unambitious. And depending on you as a leader, you have to look at where you fall. For Sarah, who is having difficulty in managing the people to the way she wants, she also has to understand where the people she's managing for, because you need to be able to manage people based on also how different they are from each other. And you as a person to know where you fall as a leader, because this is a self-personality check, so that you know how you react to the others and what you take advantage of. So if you're a choleric-based leader, then maybe if you're dealing with a team member that is sanguine, you want to try to exhibit some attitude like outgoing or forgiving or being sociable, with that person, and you can connect more. And if you're dealing with a melancholic, then as a choleric leader, you want to try to be creative, put some organized way, thoughtfulness, and, you know, see them as important. As well as when you're dealing with the flag, you have to trust them and be calm enough with them, because it's difficult for them to change things quickly. And based on all these thoughts, you can use that as a way to steer your team and to steer yourself. So hopefully we've been able to explain this in a way that you can use the knowledge and use it better for yourself in your careers. Thank you.